Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 of the PGR2 game night from the 5th of December, and we are now moving into the Grand Touring Series. Most of us in the 575. We've got Rob in the 550 there, Noel in first place as well, and someone else is in the Mercedes behind as well. So we've got 5 laps in the rain, which does mean we usually lag a little bit more in the rain. Coming to the first corner, I went into the back of Rob slightly there, who then went into the back of Noel, so not the best first corner, but there's definitely been worse. Noel losing a little bit of control on the curb there, so we're side by side through this bit, but then he jumps forward because of some lag. And then braking, taking this corner okay around the inside, and Noel hits the barrier and just comes to the middle of the road there. So Noel's still first, I'm in second there, and Sakis has moved up to third, overtaken Rob around that bit. And I just had to adjust going around that corner, otherwise I was going to hit the inside of the barrier. Noel pulling away slightly, Sakis right behind me now. On to lap 2. Coming onto the straight. And this corner always ends in disaster, and this time Sakis absolutely launches me into the barrier. Hard to judge your braking point on that one. It happens to all of us, but still the same 1, 2, 3, and looking on the mini-map there's a good bunch of 3 behind, fighting for 4th place. And I completely mess up there over that section. It's really hard to take that. The car sort of bounces everywhere, but taking that corner okay. Noel also crashes and drops back, but I'm on the inside now, next to Sakis for this next corner. Just taking that a little bit tighter to give him room on the outside. And crossing the line for the 3rd lap. I'm in first, Sakis just behind. You can see Noel in the distance there. So on the mini-map, the next 4 cars are quite spread out. But going really wide, hitting the barrier, Sakis doing exactly the same thing. It looks like Noel and then Rob behind Noel in 4th place. So this is the section that's really difficult. Coming up here, the car just seems to bounce, but managed to hold it that time. Do a nice skid around there, but it was too much unfortunately. Hitting the barrier and then scraping it, and Sakis gets a much better exit to that corner. Overtaking into 1st place. So we've got to see if we can hang on here. Taking that corner not too bad, could have gone quite a lot wider. Sakis across the line for the 4th lap, 3 tenths ahead. Rob is now overtaken Noel, so he is 2 seconds behind. I'm into this corner, trying to judge it better, but still not brilliant, and wide into the barrier. Sakis takes that much better than last time. Only 1.5 laps to go, and we'll see here again. The car just goes over a bump, bounces, and completely veers off to the right. Very annoying, very hard to control, and again going wide into that section. So Sakis is now pulling away 2 seconds ahead, and Rob is closing the gap. So we come around the final corner to go into the final lap, at least taking this one okay this time. We'll just see if we can close that gap at all to Sakis there. 2.3 seconds, Rob staying at 2.8 seconds. And Rob has pulled away a little bit from the other 3 who are still fighting for 4th position. Not taking that so bad through there. In fact, did drop back slightly there, I think by 2 tenths. We're taking this bit okay again, but we come to the horrendous section again. Just about managed to hold it this time. Going around this section, and for once not hitting the barrier, so doing okay around there, but still dropping off another 10th loss, I think, through there. So unfortunately not catching, but Rob has dropped back nearly 5 seconds, so he's obviously had quite a bad crash there. And across the line in 2nd place. We'll take that with that race. Pretty competitive, quite good. And 2.6 seconds behind in the end, and Rob finishes 3rd, Jarek 4th in the Mercedes. Mr. G actually comes 5th in the Lotus, and Noel 6th in the 575. And Flat was in 7th there. But we're still in the Grand Touring in Hong Kong this time. Hard track this one, really hard. This first corner always ends in disaster, as we're about to find out. Again, most people in the 575 going up this section, you're more than likely going to get pinned against the wall, like what just happened there. So we've got Flat in front in the DB9. Well, not DB9, sorry, the Vantage. And then we've got Mr. G in front. Now in the Lotus Spree. In 4th place, looks like Sakis is ahead, and Noel, and I can't quite see who's in 1st at the minute. I think it might be Rob, actually, thinking about it. Mr. G goes a little bit wide there, crashes the barrier, trying to go around the outside of him here. And just about getting the job done. And then turning in too quickly on that section, which seems to happen a lot. But 4th place, and Rob and Sackers are fighting for 1st place at the top there. Me and Noel here trying to fight it out for that 3rd position. Jerick is now just behind in 5th. Noel goes a little wide there and I go too narrow and hit the barrier. Slow me down completely. And again around this section, drifting a little more than I would like. Jerick right behind now in 5th. And we're going to see what we can do here. Try to brake on time. I brake a little bit late, or Noel brakes early, one of the two, and I do hit him, pushing him wide slightly, and then Jerick goes for a move around the inside, gets it done, but managed to get the cut back on him. So retake 4th position. Going up here, Noel's bouncing off the walls. I just about do that okay, but then get caught on the inside of the barrier, so Noel gets a better exit than me, and there's lots of crashing going on behind in 5th place. Not sure who's come out on top there. Jerick's still on top, so he's 1.7 seconds behind now. Just going a bit wide there. Some really difficult corners on this track. And 4 laps of it as well. Noel going a little bit wide, still on his tail. Just trying to find any opening to go for a move. Go around here again, do exactly the same thing pretty much. Always hit the inside of that barrier there. And not going wide enough through there. Jerick's still behind us in sight. But 1st and 2nd seem to be pulling away a little bit at this point. So only a 10th behind Noel, right behind him now, just trying to find that opening. There was a little gap there, but I wasn't going to go for it because it was going to be a little bit too tight around that section. Come around this section, taking that not too well, hitting the inside, but Noel oversteers into the barrier, slows down, gives us that time to overtake him, and then completely messed that up. Absolutely turning way too quickly there. It looks like Jerick made a move around the inside. I think that might be Flat also coming through in the DB9. Didn't quite get the job done, but Jerick has moved up to 4th place, and Rob is now 5 seconds ahead at this point. Doing that corner okay. Again, bashing into the inside of the wall, slowing us down a bit, but we've got just over 1.5 laps to try and make up any ground on Rob. So we've got 4.8 seconds. And Jerick behind by 1.8. Let's see what we can do around this track. So we are deciding to stick to the car classes for game nights, mainly because we can't control who joins, and it's so much easier to just pick a car class and everyone match that than pick other sorts of cars that are equal in different classes. Because we don't have contact with some people that join, so it's impossible to tell them which cars to use. So that's the reason why in game nights we are going to just stick to the car classes. But we are gaining some time on Rob. I think he was 3.9 seconds now. Jerick dropping off a little bit in 4th place there. Looking at it, I think there's 3 still battling for 4th place. I'm trying to take this hairpin a bit better this time, which we do. And we can now see Rob in the distance, crossing the line for the final time. And we are now 3.5 seconds behind, so only gained a little bit and not doing that particularly well whatsoever. Again, that's probably one of the hardest corners to judge and take fast in the game, I'd say. Very weird because of the angles. There's a few of those kind of corners on here. And Rob's 3.4 seconds, Jerick dropping back to 4.3. And taking that better this time. Quite nice through there. See if we can make any ground back whatsoever. Sakis has completely gone in 1st place. You can see the blue dot on the map there. And it looks like on the mini-map someone in 4th has pulled away. Potentially from 5th and 6th. And Rob's only 2.7 seconds in front now, so we are closing the gap, but we're running out of time now. There's only a few corners left. See him in the picture there. Did manage to close him down quite a bit, but we're on the last corner now, so unless he makes a big mistake, it's not going to be a 2nd place, but we'll take a podium. Taking that corner fairly well. And Rob crossing the line in 2nd place. We'll take 3rd place there. Not too shabby, considering we got pinned on the first corner. And it was 9 seconds behind first in the end, and probably 2 and a bit behind Rob. PRG gets 4th, Jarek in 5th, Noel 6th, Mr. G 7th, and Flat in 8th place there. Very good race. Very good race. And moving on to Hong Kong, 4 laps of this one. We lose a player though, down to 7. PRG in the 575, Rob in the Mercedes, which is a little bit slower in the straight line, but great round the corners. Noel still in the red Ferrari there. And we'll see what we can do here. And then actually, Sakis goes for a move around the inside on the first corner, gets the job done. Noel also trying to take advantage of that opening. PRG still in first, and not doing that particularly well, and also messing that up completely. Going too close to the inside, so we're losing ground on the first 2. Not sure who is in 4th place behind there. It might be Rob again in the Mercedes. It is indeed. We'll see if we can take this bit any better. Very nice through there, actually. Making up a lot of ground, but Sakis makes a move on PRG. PRG goes for the return, and both crash into the wall there. I just hit Sakis on the rebound off the barrier, so it's a little battle for first place here between the 3 of us. Sakis on the inside, tried to give him room, but then go a little bit wide and also crash into the back of PRG. And Rob also appears in the picture in 4th place. So there's 4 of us fairly close there, and I can't quite see who's in 5th place behind Rob. But half a second between 2nd and 4th, and I don't know what happened there. It got completely caught on the right-hand side of the barrier. But it meant we took that corner okay. PRG going a bit wide there. So crossing the line onto the 2nd lap. 2 tenths behind, Rob 4 tenths behind us. We're in the slipstream now, so we can go for the move on PRG around the inside. And he goes a little wide there, and we get the job done. So in 2nd place, behind Sakis now, seeing if we can make any ground back at all. This corner is really difficult, so I don't hit the inside of the barrier this time, I hit the outside. Still slowing me down massively, not ideal, but it looks like Rob has also overtaken PRG into a podium, into 3rd place. And Sakis is 1.2 seconds ahead. And again, we take that really nicely. Nailed that corner twice in a row. This corner's quite hard to take as well. And then Sakis seems to go out wider there and cut back in on this section. Possibly a quicker line there. And taking this corner a bit tighter, a bit better than last time. So it looks like we have made a little bit of ground, but then on this corner, I don't go anywhere near as quick through there as I should. Taking that very conservatively and losing some ground there, when it does actually stay at 1.2, which was the last split, and Rob is 1.2 seconds behind, keeping up in the Mercedes. Coming around the final corner onto lap number 3. So it's a battle 1, 2, 3 for the top 3 spots. And I think 4th and 5th and 6th possibly quite close together, and 7th has dropped off a bit. But Sakis makes a mistake, which gives us a lifeline to get back behind on the draft zone if we can take this corner well. And we go for a quick move again and do exactly the same as the last lap. So that's 3 laps in a row where I've messed that corner up, cannot get that right at all. So that gives Sakis the opportunity to pull away now. Rob has caught up quite a lot. Sakis is 1.6 seconds ahead. And to make matters worse, I don't take that corner particularly well this time either. A bit wide on that time. Rob trying desperately to get into the draft zone. And actually hitting the inside of the wall there. That's really sloppy. Giving Rob the opportunity to try and make a move around here. But I stick quite close to the inside. And keep my speed through there, so that was okay. Trying to go quicker through this bit now, I've learnt that, which I do. So that's better through there. Rob's still on the tail. Sakis has now pulled away, increased the lead to 2.2 seconds. And taking that not too bad there. Coming around for the final lap. Can we hold on to this 2nd place? Sakis has pulled away to 2.6 seconds now, so it's looking like 1st place. It isn't going to happen. But taking that corner okay. And Rob's still just behind, I believe. And it's looking a bit more spread out for the rest of the pack now. I think 4th and 5th are a little closer. But I finally take this corner right. Didn't hit the barrier once. And we get a good speed out of this section for once. Again, if you mess up on that section, there's a big straight here, so you do lose a lot of time and speed. Sakis 2.8 seconds ahead. Rob just under a second behind. Not many corners left to go in this one. And taking that okay, not the best. Coming around into this tight right-hand corner. Taking that okay as well. And now the group is looking very spread out. There's only me and Rob really close together by the looks of it. Saka's still 2.8 seconds ahead, so that gap has stayed the same for the entire lap, I think. Taking that okay. And this tight corner to finish. Sakis may have crashed there, because I think we might have gained half a second or so at the end. We'll have to see. Yes, 2.3 seconds we finished behind Sakis. Rob just a second behind in 3rd. PRG seems to get 4th. Noel in 5th. Jarek in 6th. And Mr. G in 7th place. And moving on to the final race of the episode, we have got the track specials now. Lots of different cars being used here. Mainly the Ferrari Challenge Stradale, the Porsche, and the Dodge Viper, because these are quite closely matched in this class. But very congested here. Mr. G actually in the Lotus Exige. A little bit too slow to compete, unfortunately, in that car, but obviously hasn't got any of the other cars unlocked. So top 3 very close together. I'm in a battle here with PRG for 4th place. So trying to take around the outside here. Go for the move on the inside and do get completely pinned against the wall, stopping us completely. And not sure what's going on in the top 3 again. It's quite close up there. So we've got to see what we can do. Taking that bit fairly well in the Challenge Stradale. And carrying the speed around there. And then making a horrendous mistake. Absolutely awful. Letting Mr. G past and Jarek as well. Could he potentially make a move? No, he managed just about to cover that. Back around the outside of the Lotus. Up into 4th place again. Have to try and catch back up to PRG now after that silly error. And this isn't the longest track, and only 4 laps, so there's not going to be too much time to make up anything. But we'll see what we can do. Around this section, just clipping the inside. Could have been a lot worse that, but managed to get away with that one. And doing this section, not too bad. And see if we can avoid this barrier this time, which we do. Carry the speed through this time. 3.2 seconds behind PRG, so that is the target for us. We're going to try and aim for 4th place. See what happens. Jarek dropping back 4 seconds now in 6th place. Looks like 1st place has disappeared, and 2nd and 3rd are very close together. But only 2 seconds behind PRG now. See what we can do. Definitely catching up. Jarek dropping back even further at this point. And PRG makes a horrendous mistake, and I hit the inside of the barrier as well, which isn't ideal. And not going wide enough there. PRG taking that much better than me. But then going too close to the inside of the wall there, and then not carrying his speed round, so hitting the barrier. So we're able to go for a move here. He doesn't see me, unfortunately, and does pin me to the wall again, slowing me down onto the last lap. And then going very, very wide. On that section, can just about see 3rd place in front of PRG. Not sure who that is. But again, very spread out, 1st, 2nd and 3rd. And then it's only me and PRG that are close together at this point, and I don't know what the hell happened there. Wasn't really looking where I was going, and hitting the barrier just on a straight. So again, not ideal, but at least finally doing this corner okay. But we've only got a few corners left to go, so I don't think it's going to be it this time. And also ruining that corner, so not my race at all, that one. But oh well, you can't win them all. I've got to show my bad races as well as my good races. That's a 5th place Not brilliant, but we'll see the finishing order for this one. Sack is first, Rob 2 seconds behind in the 911, Noel in third place, PRG, who we saw crossed fourth, I finished fifth, Jerick in 6th, and Mr. G in 7th. So that is going to do it for part 2, guys, and I will see you in part 3.